All right, we're live. Boom. Hello, 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 hello.
Come in.
Boom. Echo, echo. Rumble, 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 and the thunder, thunder, thunder. Lightning and a little bit of rain on its way. We're going to have well, everything's downhill from Gyra, as they say. I love to say that. Yeah, here we are, up on top of the range, everything's downhill. Hopefully not. Well, once you reach the top of the mountain, you've got to go down to other valleys so you can climb another mountain, don't you? Hey, welcome to the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame. I'm Thundercloud, Mum calls me James, washing away the garbage, leaving rainbows after rains. And tonight I've today actually, got two books sent to me from Alan Jefferies up in Macleay Island up there on in the middle of Quandamuka, what the name that Moreton Bay is now? Yeah. Anyway, but so on that note, let's begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we broadcast, the Kamilaroi people and the traditional custodians of all the First Nations right across this continent, currently called Australia, and acknowledge the continuing connection to the land of the elders past, the present and the emerging ones, and acknowledge that sovereignty has never been ceded. Full stop. Right. So, the books that Alan Jefferies sent me in the same breath. Hello, Alan. I'm going to read out the poems of course, because I'm always so busy here, I send him a message, say thank you for the books. They arrived this morning in the mail in two separate packages. And I said, I'd love to read out them. What do you recommend? So he's recommended some of his poems out here, which I've gone out, I've marked, I've pre-read them, so I am prepared tonight, very well prepared, not like sometimes where I'm all just making it up as I go, but hey, no one will ever know, because, you know, if you've ever been a teacher, you sort of like wing it every day, don't you, Ashley? It's like being in front of a class, it's like creative ad-libbing with like an audience of 30 people, adults I did work with, they were awesome. Right, so, Seam is the one I'm going to be reading out of first, but actually I think I'll read in the same breath. So, by Alan Jefferies, Flying Island Books, Cerebrus Press, and the year is, I'm not too sure the publishing year of this. Oh, here it is in the small writing. Yeah, 2021. Well, there you go. Very modern. And I thought, and so let's begin at the beginning. The one that he recommended first, which I really like, Gulliver, and it's called from the book In the Same Breath. Gulliver. The ants come for me in their long lines, workers of the flesh, swarming across my body in search of God knows what. A handle? I feel them, lifting me aloft on their tiny feelers and marching me to the door. Which way? They hesitate before heading in a straight line out to sea, where they're using me as a post on a bridge to fuck knows where. Online dating number one. Like I've actually found trouble relating to this because I've never actually done online dating. So online dating number one. Somewhere between applying for a job and selling a used car, Two activities I detest utterly. So I turn up to the interview in my pyjamas, half an hour late. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Dead, I say, without a hint of self-pity. The car's out of rego, and yeah, the engine's got some knocks, rust under the bonnet, no wheels, instead just blocks. 2, online dating, number 2. You see it in their eyes, sometimes in their words, sometimes in their silences. And once I saw it in the plain light of day, through the shop front window, my potential online squeeze, striding confidently. No, more like running away down the street, away from me, away from my pain. Actually, yes.
Window pane?
Yeah.
Hello, pane.
Okay, now I'm actually going to read more than 4 out of this. There's another part in it. There's 3 parts to this particular book. There's just general poems. There's wind phone, 1 to 33, like parts 1 to 33, which take up the sort of like a fair bit of the book. And then If We Exist at All and Per Diem. So I'm going to read out of wind phone, number 10. We were in the backyard of my childhood home. There, in the coolness of dawn, a fully grown lion resting on its haunches. You went straight up to it, threw your arms around its neck and buried your face in its mane, while I stood well back, ready to turn on my heels and head for the hills. It's nothing, you said. There's nothing to be afraid of. 13.
It's funny.
13. You had a way of tilting your head when you approved of something, like you were sending it on its way. I can see you now, lifting your head, wishing me on my way. But I can't move. I can't let go. Yeah. This one I kind of could relate to. It's called, only because I've had 2 wives. It's called 25 in Roman numerals, as they all are. My first wife insisted I should never have married in the first place. Such was my fondness of solitude. Then promptly unmarried me. My second wife had no such complaint, but then she too has left for the land from which there is no return. So my love of solitude has been left to take root and grow unchecked. It's waist high on the veranda and it's only spring. Solitude, yeah. Yeah, the solitude of someone dying, I can't relate to that. My wife dying, but no, yeah, 2 wives, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Alright, now this one here is Seem, S-E-E-M, by Alan Jefferies. and it's also again published by Flying Island Books, Cerebrus Press, and it's bilingual. So one page it's English, and on the other page it's Chinese. So yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. All right, this was published in 2011, so this is one of his earlier works. And there was one that he recommended, but I couldn't find it, so I'm not going to do that one. So there. But okay, all right. We'll start with the title one. Seem. The old men and the young men of the city are not as hard as they seem. In the lunch times, they feed themselves to the pigeons on the green spaces, and in the night, I often touch them silently, like when my father and I touched for the first. He was a snake, unable to break the city's hard skin. Skye poem. There's Skye over there. How about that? Skye poem. Oh, then there you go. Well, there you go. So, synchronicity is happening. Like that happened today too. So a lovely woman walked in, Anna, and she asked me if I had any books on Ayurvedic food, medicine and stuff. And I looked and I thought, well, no, actually. And then there, right on the white desk in front of my desk, was this copy of the Hare Krishna cooking book. Is it High Consciousness or something like that? Yeah. And it was missing the cover that Larry gave me. Larry is back, by the way. Larry's back, and Larry's looking great and he's healing. Skye poem, let's do it.
That was a God job, was it?
Yeah.
You tell me there's no God.
Oh my God. No, there's actually, later on, mate, in a poem, there's a monkey named God in the land of Banania. I'll tell you that one later. I have to go and put on my monkey suit. Yeah, Skye poem. I wonder, does the sky ever get too heavy? Does it ever tire of carrying planes? Sick of balancing skyscrapers, holding up the heavens? Does the sky ever get tired of being fired at by every conceivable weapon at all hours of the day and night? Sky, are you going bald? Is that your head I see, poking out at the poles? Will I wake one morning to find that you're holding a fire sail of the clouds when you heave your glorious hue and get out of the business of being blue?
Oh, look at that.
Isn't that's really cool. Like, that is really cool, isn't it? It's like you're tired of holding up, carrying planes and being shot at. Lovely, yeah. Have you ever thought about that yourself?
Yes, but not quite.
Not like that, yeah?
Not quite like that.
No. It's great, isn't it? Awesome thoughts. So, yeah. Alan Jefferies, thank you very much. Oh, here we go. I like this one. People have strange reactions to my poems. Like the last line is the kicker. People have strange reactions to my poems. Even before reading them, I get, have you thought about writing prose? People say violent things about my poems. People open my books like they're set to explode. People say dangerous things about my poems. Poem well placed can clear a room in seconds, a train station in a matter of minutes. People say outrageous things about my poems, but the worst by far are those that smile and faintly say, "Have you thought about writing prose?"
You bastards. Yeah. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I get it. I really get that one. Like it, thank you. Now I've got one here he sent me, he recommended called The Truth. Now he did send me an SMS saying, "Oh look, I've made a few changes, except I can't access that because it's on that phone that's recording this." So I'm just going to read the one out of here, and it is goes over the page here. The truth. The truth is almost impossible to be rid of. You can chop it into little bits. You can wrap it in chains and send it gurgling down to some distant ocean floor. You can strip the flesh from its bones and grind each gristle into a fine white powder. You can burn it, crush it, you can destroy it with the heat of 1,000 suns. But all you would have done is to make the truth sit stiller, for the facts aren't going anywhere. You can dismantle its DNA, forbid its language. You can tear down its temples and obliterate its culture. You can erase every last trace of it from the earth. You can even ban it from referring to itself. But you'll never be rid of it completely. All you would have done is to make it grow stronger. For one day the truth will come out and it will be frightening.
Hey,
Yeah.
Powerful.
No, lovely. Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, thank you very much, Alan Jefferies, and I'm going to invite Ashley up. I think I did justice with those, reading those out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
On this right, so we go. I don't know what went on that light, didn't it?
Good.
Well, here we are again, not holding the pen, but the mighty triadic. Not rulers tonight, but black straws. What is man, what is life, but a dinkum Aussie straw in a wattle thick shake going, well, my hypothesis is one needs gas to come down this pipe to energize the body. One needs gas to come down this pipe, bringing ammonia to energize the beer and give it sparkle and pizzazz. So, my observation of that is that it's grim if Europe and the rest of the world suddenly has to commune with flat beer because there's no gas bringing the ammonia. And the parameters of that are that no matter what we have functioning, we always need pipes. And as I say, quoting my friend Blundering Pascal, what is life but a thinking pipe? Or more or less. Listening to Alan Jefferies reminded me of Jonathan Swift, oftentimes actually, and it was interesting that James started off with a poem called Gulliver. I enjoyed his poetry very much. I wonder if he knows my mate Paul Dobbin up in Brisbane, who's an active person helping shape the word and how it's used in southeast Queensland. A poem by Mr. Murray, The Scores, 20th Century, and then my response to that.
Les Murray?
Les Murray, yes. The Scores, 20th Century. 1901. When we were all servants fending off Madam's slurs, the white girl ditched her baby and the black girl kept hers, and a boy on his pony taught it all about spurs, and the flowers were all gold and wattle. 1921. That weak word, the battlers, I saw from the train families punch hoods from wheat bags to keep out the rain. Tom said a seller's market made Australian girls vain, and for Tom, the flowers were poppies. 1941. Ah, there, Ginger Meggs, was it Susso, T and Suet put those calipers on your legs? If Sister Kenny could do it, you'd walk again like a trooper, left, right, and the wreaths would be Singapore orchids. 1961. We came because here were no politics, said your in-laws. Sweet, monotonous languor. And a pill was a sexless bore at school, but one brought bassinets under control. You were young and free for longer. Somehow this caused great anger, and its songs came by disc from America. 1981. You rose dressing up and you praised putting down, especially the cultures of TV and bush town. The white-booted chucker and the wet-lipped seersucker, and the flowers were flung gladioli. 2001. Fashion ruled while the old queen still reigned. Some flickers of nonsense remained, one last war, and none of ours killed. Cuisine grew less shamed and more skilled. Entertainment grew more forms of media, some dearer, some seedier, yet the flowers were Olympic gold roses. The Scores, 20th Century. Ah, a charming poem, Les. Odd, the US and UK have shellac music discs and golden roses respectively. And the Aussies? Well, 1901, golden wattle and poppies. Many still returning to the nation for a continent in the year of our Lord, 1921. And 1941, Singapore orchids. Some diggers never took them from their lips. So, 1961, with songs crooning, cruising, disced from America. And 2001, as said, flowering in Olympic gold roses. Can there be such at the fashion-ruled behest of a queen? Well, yellow at best. And the point, the thorn of my poem, does it need one? Well, it is surprising how many Aussies hadn't returned from the Great War by 1921. Well, hundreds were still returning in 21. And it's interesting that from 2000 onwards, the Queen, in many ways, in her silence, committed us to a springtime of blood-red rosing folly. Well, a poem that I wrote last week, and we'll read once more, as we're on the subject of the departed. If you could, when I say hip hip hooray, give me a rousing hurrah. I saw the lion's paws drape the coffin, saw her hands sign still the proclamations, exaltations, like lion's claws dragged by the blue and white navy boys along. Down the tree-lined parade in spectacle, discussed, in brackets. She does approve each minute of empire, footing at the hearse, rehearse, soundtrack each 60 seconds, Big Ben bell and the crack of cannonade, down to the arch where the great Duke sits abreast, Wellington taking in the lie of things, of course, on horse. 3 cheers for Her Majesty. Hip hip, hurrah! Hip hip, hurrah! Hip hip, hooray! A winter walker talker says, remember the Viridian effulgence as we buried her? She'd have the black boughs weighing down with snow. Winter soon enough. Back then, the flaming reds and scarlets and rich greens. She'd like that Englishness above. And that poem is called Majesty. What have I been reading? This marvellous 1950 anthology that the English published in the Oxford University World's Classics series. And it's a mirror of a consciousness that is one of the substrate levels of all of us still here in Oz. But the anthologies since this are very different to this shadowed collection of stories where frontier and war and vicissitude haunts every line. There's one story in here that I thought was up with Chekhov and Hemingway at their best, and that was a short sketch of a boy and a girl leaving a family farm to go off to war in 1941, I assume, called Drift by Peter Cowan, who is considered throughout the world to be a very considerable short story writer. And perhaps one night myself or James can read Drift, and you will not have to drift. It's a magnificent piece of writing. I read it 4 times last night at midnight, and each time was like swimming into an icon of spaces and some very deep and complex reflections. I sat in the street 48 hours ago, and I did one of my doco poems, sitting in Bridge Street. Bridge Street, Uralla, 5:03 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time, 3rd of October. Light, strong enough to wear sunglasses as the wheel of the seasons wheels. Warmth on my back from the westering sun, and I get up to check, yes, that it's nature changes nature. This gun was placed here at the back of me by Uralla RSL to honour all those who served and died for their country. 31st of the 10th, 1985. I wasn't there on that day. Stephen Carruthers passed the corner here opposite Thunderbolt's rampant horse sculpture, rearing on the opposite corner with a copy of Herr Hitler's Mein Kampf tucked under his arm. No one saw Stephen Carruthers, particularly not Thunderbolt. I crossed the road to check if Fred Ward, alias Thunderbolt's statue, was erected opposite the ACAC gun on the same date, so to speak. City dignitaries setting off in 2 groups to either side of the fourways to spruik the sculptural gestures, so to speak. And the heavy transports were gearing up for the pull up on the Tamworth side. But I crossed safely. There dozens of tons traffic by me, nigh to. So Thunderbolt slowed his steed at the Bridge Street crossroads, sculpted so. In 88, 3 years after the World War II artillery piece was set in place on Apex Park. Taking off my sunnies, softer light now, 23 scribbling along minutes towards sickle moon star release of released stars. Where will my pen wander now? And New South Wales lottery signs come into focus on the other side of the street. On the supermarket wall opposite, $1 million in the left-hand box. Upper right, 5 million. Lower left, 30 million. This Thursday, and the other 15 million over there on the bottom right. Neat, isn't it? Oh. The glory of our destiny. How we would play with the 50 million. 4 boxes, garden Persian style, pleasure plots in the overall form of the right-angled rectitude. The box, the square, the form, the precise, practical, mathematical mind of the Persians I think upon as I look across the strata at the supermarket. No shrine to the Virgin here, just parked toilets, the cannon, the supermarket, the council chambers, an outlaw-visaged Fred Ward rearing high up above the pavement bridge. Just to the side, an Imperial Jack and an Aboriginal flagpole. The sombre grandeur of black, gold and red. The heat has slightly moved off the Arvo with my pen. Perhaps German mysticism and Aboriginal something or other meet here in the zephyrously cooling 5:42 p.m. Eastern Standard Time breeze. But as said, no Mary Virgin here, full of all place grace, and untouchable, touchable, but only that God comes forth in fecundity. Mother Mary, pray for us. But the more we pray, the male God keeps disturbing. 3 girls in sparkly purple clitter past on push bikes from Fellini's last made Urella spectacle. Their eyes are closed, neatly behind each other, unlit sparklers in one hand and bright pink plastic sex toys in the other. They somnambulise past me, past the anti-aircraft gun and down under the street, over the now asphalted creek. They pedal on at Bridge Street's bottom. All those Victorian etiquette manuals were correct, were they not? Girls should ride side saddle. I followed them through the tunnel. This is getting a strong, vivid reaction from some in the audience this morning. I followed them through the tunnel under the crossroads. Only graffiti, didn't expect much there, and there wasn't. True do you do, counterpointed by a, was it, sausage balloon, penis-like shape, flaccidly scrawled attendant on the other opposite wall. And I was sitting above this all the time, till I followed the maidens down the passage to be confronted by the mysteries of Urella in a poem at 6:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Wow.
Wow.
I must add to this that in 50 years, the madness of things, in 50 years walking around there and sitting there, I had never noticed that you could drive up the pavement, as Harry would know full well, but I never have till I wrote this. You could come round the gun and go down under the fourways in a tunnel out over to Thunderbolt's statue on the other side. And I had, in 50 years, coming and go, never noticed this till some kids came shayaking along on their pushies and went zip round the angle and down under the street.
Wow.
And I imagined 3 purple maidens with somnambulant closed eyes somehow mystically reconnoitring down under the creek and the river. It's called Bridge Street for a reason.
Does Urella have a sex shop, does it?
No,
Oh.
I imagine them with sparklers, all in purple glitter and bright pink sex toys waving in the other hand while they pedalled along. Well, I will see if I can get my mate James later on to read a short witty thing oh gosh, my mind's gone. Not Fred F. Claremont, he's an American economic philosopher, but Dale Stevens. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Alright. Okay, well I got
Don't clitter,
no.
don't clutter.
I shall. Alright. Well, before I invite Doug up, I've got two little ones. A haiku first.
Okay.
Yeah, that's 5, 7, 5 syllables.
5, 7, 7.
Echidna scratching. Eucalyptus eggs hatching. Spiky monotree.
Wow.
Oh, do that again. That's
Yeah.
Echidna scratching. Eucalyptus eggs hatching. Spiky monotree.
Wow, good.
Yeah, nice simple one, yeah.
The kids would like that when they come for poetry stimulation. Have a big banner.
You want to know the funny thing about why the word eucalyptus got in there? Well,
So it has the right number of syllables? No?
well, it does, no. Because many years ago when I was in Nimbin, I went into the park and there was a fire one morning and there was the remains of a cooked echidna. And like a roadkill that had been cooked, and they like my mates had been eating it, and they offered me some, and I ate it, and it was really yummy, and it tasted like a eucalyptus because they're eating those ants off the ground.
And it
Yeah.
did taste really very good, huh?
Oh, lovely! Yeah, very fatty. Yeah.
How interesting.
Now here's a 4-line quatrain.
Quatrain.
Yeah, that quat mean 4. A slug was sliding along. It met a snail that it knew well. "G'day, Jack," the slug said. "Have you seen Michelle?"
Ah.
Oh,
See,
okay.
I read that. I
Yeah.
read that and I was like, well, whatever.
Whatever.
But now when you say it like that, have you seen Marshall?
Have you seen Michelle? Yeah.
Very droll.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I know. I just had to wait, just let it sink in, and I knew it would come. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Now, this next one I'm going to do before I invite Doug up. I think out of all of the poems I've ever written, this one probably comes in the top 6. And it was specifically crafted to celebrate art. There's only really 2 bits where there's any kind of negativity at all in it. So
No negatives.
very, very few.
I love them.
Very few.
Bring it on.
Great works of art are flowing, evolutionary dances of energy, portrayal of the infinite silence of mind, inherent in the dedication, focus, commitment, where observers meld into landscapes, witness and witnessed take on the same identity, all infinitely connected. Dead poets' words, long time culture's artefacts, cave paintings with hands stenciled, even some spray can murals, street art and graffiti painted over by council maintenance. This Bunnings extendable roller pole can reach the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel for a fresh coat of titanium white. Sacrilege! Bit like that mining mob blowing up ancient cave art. So, I can understand why some fellas want to take a dump on the Sydney Opera House with its crap acoustic design. Yeah, but nah. Great works of art, the greatest works of art, the very best works of art, music, poetry, architecture, design, skill, and imagination, be pyramids of a genius architect, be geometric Gaudian spirals, be La Gioconda, aka Mona Lisa. Transport our consciousness higher, even if only temporarily. That infinite silence of universally recognised, awesome revelation, inspirational, timeless, transcendent of ego, serving as exemplary, divine, aspirational, consciousness non-localised, radiant of beneficent, benevolent, benediction, art of divine grace. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah, the greatest works of art. Doug. Doug's been working in here doing his homework for a few hours tonight, so he's got some good stuff. Mm.
Yeah, thank you, Doug.
Okay. Get this. I don't know which glass I really need. Maybe, I don't know. I'll put them both on. Probably can't see a bloody thing here. Good evening. Now, I wanted to do a little quote out of this book, which I read 20, 15 years ago. But like a lot of books, they come back into your life. Well, this has happened anyway. And it's Gandhi and Churchill by a guy called Herman, who's a student of both these human beings, I would claim. It's a powerful book. Anyway, it contrasts the two people who, if nothing else, inspired us in their own ways, I guess. Anyway, the poem I wrote tonight and tried to write is something about this quote. Someone, I think, Ashley read something earlier from 1906 or something. Anyway, this quote is from a chapter called Breakpoint, 1909. And there's a quote here from Gandhi, and he says, "The British government in India constitutes a struggle between the modern civilization, which is the kingdom of Satan, and the ancient civilization, which is the kingdom of God. The one is the god of war, the other the god of love." Gandhi, chapter 1909. Bit of a shivery when I read that. Is that what you put me out, you bastards? Anyway, settle. I can't be speaking like that. The god of war. Anyway, I think these are the right ones. Yeah, okay.
Oh, what big eyes you have, Grandpa.
Leave me alone, you bloody wolf, whatever you are. I'm doing my best. Okay. Okay, alright, let's go. Now the title of this little bit of an effort is called Civilization. And before I spiel, because this is a spiel apparently, because I said it is, couple of little news items from Armidale, which Ashley will endorse, I hope. The musical Dunny in Armidale had a note on it about a month ago that said, "Will be fixed soon." People standing out waiting to urinate. Anyway, friends of mine are going to the ladies now. They'll probably be arrested. Anyway, it's still not fixed. The music's not playing or nothing. Okay, that's my little bitch. Now, on Thursday we rode the steam. We rode the steam train. That was touching for me. And there's a little bit of hope happening with the mob that's trying to reincarnate the rails north to Queensland. There's a little bit of positivity happening, in my view. Anything else happening in Oakdale? Something else happening.
1984.
Oh yeah, a bit of culture. Yeah. There's something else I thought was of note. Oh, anyway.
What
Okay.
day is that?
I was in the mall today. There was something really interesting happened in the mall, but I've not even forgotten. Anyway, maybe that's 2 coffees that screwed me up. Well, that's one thing on the report. Is this the news or is this to lighten me up? I don't know what it's for. But we're sitting down the new coffee shop, the Glass House in Moore Street, in the Cop Shop Street, and my friend Harry, who lives in a car up at Black Mountain, I bought a bit of ours up here. I think you might have seen a bit of it actually. We're saying that maybe we could do a small display of his work. Anyway, he's got a new dog. He rescued a dog from the box under the big double. And Henry, yeah. And he's a little bit hurt, but he's okay. He's coming good. He can't chase sheep, but he's got chasing sheep in his blood. So we're sitting in the coffee shop late, and these women come up with 3 fluffy little, are they poodles? I'm not sure what they're called. Anyway, the problem that Harry sees it is now that Henry is confused. He thinks those little woolly puppies, he thinks they're sheep. You work out what happens. Okay. All right. He's a sheepdog.
Is this a true story?
I beg your pardon?
Yeah. Did Henry ever go at the fluffy
Did he
dog?
round them up?
Did he really?
He was thinking about it. All right, here we go. This is called Civilization. This spiel is for you. You must think I'm preaching. I don't really mind. I need to be kind, not spew my view onto you. If my nation is civil, is that what I need? If warlike's my gift, does that create rift? Was I born to thrust spear? Aren't I truly a dear? The Bronze Age gave us sharps and a cap for our war horse. Sticks and stones don't hurt much before that. The god of war was my guide. Civilised never lied. These weapons get stronger each day. The wars that I fight, some big and some small, tell me to win, to lose is a sin. I'm so strong today, you're frightened to look. Eye contact may cause your demise. So winners and grinners, you perpetrate power. The god of your world fights all battles. But my butterfly wings are weak and so fragile. They can just get me airborne, you know. This beauty I own can stop man in his tracks. Can this wisp of magic diminish my struggle? This god of love, can it be found? Which god do you want And I ain't a preacher, why can't you figure your way? If you fight and you win and the loser falls down, does that mean he weren't doing his best? I'm at war with my kids, I'm at war with my past, I'm even at war with myself. There's only one left. Pull me back on the track. God of love, help me through, war never ending. Give me love that is missing, without such I fail. The clues are inside me, will sweet love abide? The clues are inside me, will sweet love abide? Me, peace and eternal are all that I grasp.
Yeah.
Very interesting. You've got to remember, Harry, that railroad is the English devil to the Hindu barefoot.
Yeah, exactly. all these battles we have. Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Well, you're no worries.
But I get your point.
In a moment, I'll invite Skye up. Here we go. Let's have something. Oh, no, I'm not going to do that one. In the land of Purloo lives a tickety-boo who has very little to do. So he sits on the grass, sips beer from a glass and scratches its itchy arse. It's pink, green and blue, I've seen just a few. At sunset in the land of Purloo, long shadows are cast as the days pass fast and the nights don't last. The tickety-boo often creeps through the night and peeps in windows while people sleeps. It's ragged and hairy, super friendly, not scary. If you awake it, it'll be merry. It really is kind of creepy that the tickety-boo is peepy at night when people are sleepy. It looks into showers in the darkest night hours. It has invisibility powers. Yes, it has watched you. That shower, sleep, wee and poo, that sneaky, creepy tickety-boo that drinks beer in the day on the grass and play with itself scratching away. Whether false, neutral, true, it's pink, green and blue, the tickety-boo of Purloo. But when the sky is grey, rainy nights and day, the tickety-boo can't play with itself and can't watch you. But you can see the tickety-boo in Foxley Street number 2, and then you can be creeping and you can be peeping at the tickety-boo sleeping. The tickety-boo watches you and you can watch the tickety-boo. But you've got to be in Purloo. This story twists and turns and bends, and you and the tickety-boo are friends, and so my story ends. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Skye.
Okay. Never much of a performer, but here I go. Yeah, these are my poems. Going solo. Weeding, waiting, woe is me, clutching at chances, a glimmer of light, a spark that once seen, unloved and neglected, dead, I must go. Away I wonder what's next. Scarred, scared, to let go. Sad, but it's true. Goodbye to my soulmate. Familiar, the funny, the fun that we've had. A piece of me dead, I dread. Till next time, or next life, when walking beside you feels the warmth of your sweetness and laughter instead.
Interesting. Very interesting.
2021. Yeah.
Very interesting, isn't
Wow.
Yeah. So I could do another one. Never mind. Or never mind. Never mind, never mind. Not mine to hold, not mine to kiss. Not mine to make love or caress. No, not a possession. An obsession I hold, obsessed, to caress, embrace and lie next to. Delusion, illusion. Wish it was real. Wish you were in my arms, close to me, aroused, in me, onto me, feeling your energy. Stop. Abstain, refrain, retain your thoughts. Never mind, never mind. Gone with the wind, it was only time to never mind again.
Wow, awesome, thank you.
Different sensibility to us rampant males.
Oh, isn't it? Like, it's so lovely to hear such a female voice. It's and that's what I was actually thinking as you're delivering it. How, yeah, because I'm up here booming away, and Ashley, and yeah, right. Bananas. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, this one happened the other night without bananas, but it's probably good because this kind of looks like the moon.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Did look like that the other night. Yeah, it was bent. Yeah. Walking along a dark night road, a new fingernail moon in the west sky glowed. I admired the finest crescent, knowing that the moon is heaven sent. A simple beauty has inspired this wandering poet, not retired. In the dark night, walk and write the finest silver of new moonlight. The finest sliver of new moonlight. There you go. And the one that I actually just wrote, thank you very much, but I wrote like about that much before I wrote that one in time ways, like that much time. From where spirit comes, who truly knows? I've asked the wind, but the wind just blows.
I like that.
Yeah, so
Did you write that?
Yeah. It's just it was profound in
Nice
a
and
certain
simple.
way. Yeah. Now, what I'm going to do, I'll do my last one for the evening, because I'm not going to be doing the one. But if you did want to, there's one about men need to cry. And I just want to read out one line of that. Actually, toughen up, told to be a man, toughen up, princess, and boys don't cry. What a fucking lie. Boys need to cry, release, express frustration, anger, rage, sadness, and not repress emotions. And it's okay to cry. That's just a bit out of that one. Boys need to be told it's okay to cry. And express that. Right, but that brings me to the end of the night. See, hey? No. So I was, I'm standing in the magic doorway here. See? The magic doorway. The Banania, exactly. The doorway to Banania.
The mystic myth.
Now, the other night, like I was on the frig book. Now, don't forget, there's the bush dance on Friday night here.
Yes.
There's the Sunday morning, the Poets' Breakfast with Paddy O'Brien's coming as well. tomorrow afternoon we've got some movies, a movie happening. But let's get on with the last poem of the night. Gyro Trout Festival this weekend. Yes. Okay. I will have one more for you just after this. Maybe. If you give me an encore. Right. So the prompt for this was a cupboard that sort of was open, and behind it was this secret doorway, stairs. It was like a door that was disguised as a cupboard. So it reminded me of the Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe from that Narnia, right? So this is what, like if you had to write about this doorway, what would you do? Well, here we go. Because in the Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, the lion called Aslan was kind of like the god figure. So here we go. A monkey named God in the land of Banania, and a farmer named Billow who grows bananas. Met on a road, God was pulling a sleigh. Billow gave him a banana and went on his way. I'd like to think that's the end of the story. There's no blood, no guts, no bravery or gory bits where God had vengeance or smite. He just ate the banana and pulled the sled into the night. I suppose now you're wondering, where is the witch? There isn't one. But there is a lizard queen with an itch who fell in love with Billow, the banana farmer, who gave her a banana. Oh, such a charmer. They sailed away to the land of Bickety Boom in a banana boat for their honeymoon, but arrested as aliens by a policy person plot and bailed the next day by a monkey named God. The moral is, if you grow banana, give one to God and no one will harm you. And even if you've gone to Bickety Boom and jailed with your love on your honeymoon, the wind blows on everyone. Be like Billow. The monkeys you help will help you back, you know. Of course, Billow gave more bananas to God. He forgave and gave a banana to policy person Plod. Thank you very much. Well, there's no encore. All right. Okay, I'll see. Okay, sure. It just so happens there was an encore, right? So there's the Trout Fest coming up this weekend. I was working on decoration, so if you go out the front and you go onto the veranda, there's a beautiful woman standing up there with no hands.
And good hair.
Great hair, awesome hair extensions. She's a mannequin. There's the biggest fish in Gyra, the biggest rainbow trout up there, and she's fishing with a pool cue and some of that Telstra rope, and she's got it. The problem is she has no hands. So what do we call her? Wristy. Because she's got wrists. Yeah. Wristy. Not Christy, wristy. Yeah. There we go.
How's she holding the fishing line?
Duct tape. She's duct taped like to it, which actually, it explains that in the poem, right? So this weekend the Trout Fest coming up. Poets Breakfast, Tall Fishy Tales, 10 o'clock on Sunday morning. If you come up and you've got a fish poem or a fish story that's a bit of bullshit or whatever, even true, here we go. A trout was, and Risty up there, she's wearing a beautiful pink dress. That was the one that I was wearing last week, actually. She's took it off me.
Wow.
You didn't see that, did you?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did? You did? Okay, all right, okay. Okay, here we go. A trout was caught by Risty wearing a pretty pink dress. It was a giant fish. Risty's fish was the very best. She caught it from the awning and she gave a happy shout. I caught a fish no-handed. It's a giant rainbow trout. Just in case you're wondering why Risty and not Christy, she hasn't any hands and hence her name is Risty. Yes, she hasn't any hands, but she caught a giant fish with a rod and reeled it in, put it between her knees and clubbed it with her wrist. Risty loves fishing and she also loves duct tape, and when she finishes she has a good luck. But when the wind blows and she doesn't catch any trout, she has to watch out as the dress flaps about. Thank you very much. Risty, up on the roof. That's Risty, not Christy. Yeah. All right, well, thank you very much, everybody, for coming along tonight. Thank Ashley, Skye, Doug, the other audience, the secret audience member of the audience. Yeah. And we will see you and Paddy O'Brien and you on Sunday morning here.
What
at
time?
10 o'clock the show starts.
Sunday on.
Yeah, so I'll be doing the intro, a few poems. Paddy will get up, he'll do about 15 to 20 minutes, then the walk-ups will be, Paddy will then come up and finish off with another set, and going through till about 12 o'clock. Tickets about if you're just coming to watch, if you're coming to participate it's free, if you're coming to watch it's tickets are available at the door or online. And the Trout Festa here in Guyra this weekend, it's going to be fantastic. So
if you're reading poetry, it's free.
yeah, that's right.
And if you're just here to watch
It's cost
and
some money.
heckle, it costs you money.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. And the Guyra Neighbourhood Centre is doing the barbecue stuff, and there'll be some fruit salad, non-meaty stuff for people who don't eat meat too. Didn't know that, did you? No.
No, it's only Wednesday. They don't tell me everything.
Alright, well, thank you very much. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and here we go. Have I got one to finish off with? One last one here. We go random here and we go boom. This one. I was feeling hot, so I took a dip, even though I'm not that fond of hummus.
Oh, 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 oh.
And the short one.
Hummus inspectuality.
Oh, you want one more? Alright. Today I got gas for just 99 cents. It was the cheapest tin of baked beans in the supermarket. Well, I'm just partying. Okay, I'll see you later. Good night. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Tell them if they subscribe.